Well, good evening, everybody. I think I'm going to get this show on the road. This is really a very informal evening, so other than what we're going to say here, feel free to keep mingling. It's all about networking, and that's what we want to do. That's what MPG is all about, so do that. There's more food coming throughout the night, and there's a very bright spotlight that's going to shine on you if you're up here. There'll be more coffee too if we run out of that. My hope is that we do run out of everything, because that's better than wasting stuff. So if you don't get a snack, I apologize, but come earlier next time. So, first of all, huge thank you to everybody that has shown up tonight. This is definitely probably 10 times better than last year. The only difference for companies was free parking this year, and I don't know if that really made, I guess that makes a difference. But regardless of why you're here, the fact is that it's excellent that you are here, so thank you very much. I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to put my timer on here. I do get longer than 180 seconds, but I won't try to take too much longer than that. I'm going to open up by thanking sponsors, as we must always thank our sponsors. So I'm going to start with thanking Dynastream Technologies, or Innovations, sorry, Dynastream Innovations. They've been a supporter of MPG for 3 years now. Unbelievable amount of support, exactly the relationship that I want MPG to have with industry. They have really enabled a lot of the growth that has happened in MPG in the last few years, and I hope that we continue that relationship for many years to come. So a huge thank you to Dynastream, our platinum sponsor for several years. There are lots of other companies that are involved on a formal way of being involved. NXP Semiconductors gives us all of our processors for MPG. They've been supporting MPG for quite a few years now. IAR Systems, that's the software we use for development, they actually donated $100,000 of software last year, and that is commercial value of licenses. So the educational value is less than $100,000, but the fact is they did put out that those licenses, and we really appreciate industry recognizing MPG, and I've never even met any of those guys in person, so that's really neat that they can do that from all the way from the US. Our two other sponsors this year, Marandi Communications, they're a first-time sponsor. Marandi is in town, and probably a lot of the industry people here have heard of Marandi and used their excellent services. And new this year is Gas Clip Technologies, and they have the honor of being the first MPG remote sponsor, because they have some roots in Kelowna, and UBC Okanagan, which is there, has an MPG remote program running now, and Gas Clip is supporting them there. So that's really neat to see MPG remote happening and attracting some industry interest outside of Calgary, where I'm not beating people with hockey sticks to get them involved. So. Let's do a round of applause for all of our sponsors. Now, that being said, tonight is not about money. I'm not going to stand up here and ask you for all of your money. Some people do ask how much MPG costs to run, and to fully establish one seat of MPG in the way that I want it to be established would cost about $600 per person as a one-time cost, and there's no way we'll ever achieve that, I don't think. I can do it for as little as $30 a person as a one-time cost and get things going. For an established MPG program like here at the U of C, once that initial investment has been made, then MPG is self-sustaining. So students do buy their own hardware, and they pay cost, and that cost does include about $10 or $15 that it costs to buy solder and do all the things like this and keep MPG sustained at this level. But the growth does cost a bit more than that. So always looking for ways to grow, but what I really want to make sure that happens, I hate asking for money. If you have ever received a funding request from me, I apologize deeply. I hate sending that. I love it when you respond, even if it's no, because if you don't tell me anything, then the second email for follow-up, I really hate sending that email. What I really hope that happens is that people see the value of MPG. You are welcome to use this resource as much as you want, and that's for the students and for industry. And what I hope that comes out from that is you recognize the value of this program and you want to support it. And if you ever need to find more information about that, of course I can tell you more information about that, but that's all I'm going to say about that. This is the 12th year of MPG, which is a long time. The growth of MPG really did start in 2010. So that is when I was about to stop doing MPG, and then a bunch of neat things happened that instead I did a 180-degree turn. That's when I kind of connected with Dynastream, started Engenuics Technologies, which is my company that MPG is related to, but not a revenue-generating part of Engenuics by any means. And that's when things really started taking off, and we actually started some great exponential growth. That, of course, is why I'm holding this hockey stick. So the purpose of this hockey stick is twofold, actually. This hangs on my wall in my office. This is my father-in-law's hockey stick, and he lost his battle with cancer last January. So this is an important reminder of him to me. But it also, as we know, this is the growth curve that we want to see as new organizations. MPG started back here in 2000, and we've been crawling along. 2010 hit, and I think we're up here on this hockey stick, and I hope that we continue to achieve the growth that we want to see, and that's why this sits on my wall, because I'm rather a visual person. I will use the hockey stick if you go over your 180 seconds in your presentation. So that's very, very, very important that we stick to that. MPG today is the classic example of a win-win relationship with students, with myself, with industry. I am kind of a 7 habits of having successful people person. That's what I always look for in my relationships. I really want everybody to benefit. I don't ever want people to say, I'm investing some time in MPG for my own selfish reasons, because it's not selfish, because there is so much coming back, and you are giving so much. So whether it be sponsorship, whether it be promoting your technology, whether it be coming and looking for students, and for students, same thing. Even if you're just taking MPG because you think it's going to help you get a job and get some experience, that's perfect, but you're also putting in that time, everyone's putting in time to make this thing work and be as successful as it has been. So tonight, I missed a point here. Probably in the last few years, the most common thing that I hear from companies is, as they're looking for people to recruit, the question is, how do I find people that are genuinely interested in what we're doing? And all the companies that are here do embedded systems. This is all about embedded systems. So how do I find people that are genuinely interested in embedded systems and don't want to just come to work for us to take a paycheck and go home? From the audience, how many, actually I need a show of hands of all the MPG students and alumni that are here today. Big show of hands, everybody in MPG. So I think there might be some other first years coming, but the answer to that question of where do I find interested people, this is your answer. These are people that sometimes are putting in more than 2 years to participate in all the MPG stuff. I continue to work with a lot of these students even after they've graduated, and a lot of them are coming back to volunteer back into MPG. So these are people that I can truly say are genuinely into embedded systems, and you should talk to those people, and hopefully you students will be able to connect with some companies tonight. And even you don't have to be sitting here, you don't have to be here because you're hiring, be here because we like embedded systems, we like what we do. MPG is a community, that's really what I want to emphasize, and it's a network, and that doesn't mean that it's a short-term thing, it's a long-term thing that I hope people can leverage for as long as they need to leverage that, as long as they're doing embedded systems. So tonight, celebrating the success of MPG here with all of us today. For the people that are presenting, like I said, you have 180 seconds, and this is very, very casual. When you're up here, say whatever you want, but what I hope that you'll say is why you are passionate about the work that you do or the work that your company does, and why you are interested in MPG, and can perhaps define what sort of relationship you want out of MPG, so people can know what your interests are particularly. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. 8 minutes, not too bad. we're going to have a little 5-minute break. For everybody that is presenting, can I get you to come up here just for a quick little rundown of what's going to happen? Everyone else, feel free to top up your coffees. I don't know if there's any muffins left or anything like that. And then I will be on this microphone in 5 or so minutes, and we'll do these short presentations, which I think will, even though there's, I think, 10 companies presenting, I think it's going to go pretty fast because it's all very, very short blurbs. So hopefully that's interesting, and hopefully that's not the horrible part of tonight. I think it'll be great, and I think it'll be just enough time. So we'll see you here at the microphone in about 5 minutes. We're going to start with Ross. I'm just going to do first names just to keep this informal. Ross from Dynasty.
Oh my God.
Can you guys hear me okay? Thanks. Is this all right? So thanks, Jason. My name's Ross. I'm the Director of Engineering at Baxter Innovations. We're based out of Cochrane, and we work in making sensors and product that turn motion into information. So Jason asked us to maybe talk about what's exciting or what we love about what we do, and that's pretty easy, I think, to talk about. There's a couple or three things. One is the product. Today I got to sit in a meeting where we were talking about what we're building, and what we're building is a pedal that measures your power output while you're riding your bike. And I ride a bike, and I really like that. So I'm working on something that's interesting to me and that I know people are already passionate about and interested in and can affect their lives in a positive way. I like the challenges that we have for fitting all of the information into a small package, right? Can you make a watch that can measure how you're swimming, figure out what stroke you're doing, tell you your distance, but also make it inexpensive, last for a year on a coin cell, and be easy to use? And last, and this is where you guys come in, I really like the people. We live in a province where you kind of have to self-select to go looking for these kinds of problems, and that's what MPG is so thrilling to have, where you guys are interested in something that's a little bit challenging, a little bit intricate, and I guess really want to encourage you to keep looking at those problems and hopefully get to a place where you can come and work with us. This summer, we've got spots for people right out of second year for 4 months. If you're finishing third year and you're in, and you've got internship, we have internship spots, and we're also hiring quite a bit this year. The last thing I wanted to say is really congratulations to Jason and to you guys. This program has so many people here tonight, and if you had the opportunity to take what you're learning in a course, there'd be no purpose for what you're doing. But there's such a need and interest that we can kind of grow as a community is really, really rewarding. My last little comment about how awesome MPG is to kind of echo what you said about how difficult it is to find people who are interested in what we do. We do a lot of interviewing on campus, and a lot of people, you look at a lot of resumes and people aren't self-selecting to go and code on their own or write software on their own or make their own little projects. This guy comes into an interview and what do you know about Dynastream? Oh, well, actually I know a lot because I already built stuff with an AMP module in it. And that was the first time we'd ever heard of MPG, was Vipin coming in for an interview and he'd already done stuff with it. And when you can meet people like that, you know that you're going to work well with them because they've got the passion and interest that's going to take them through the interesting product and through the hard problems.
We have Jade from Miranda Communications.
Hi, I'm Dave from Randy, and I'm not really a public speaker. I apologize for that. Our company's been around since 1992, and we design wireless products. And initially we focused on the RF side of it, and you're wondering what does it have to do with digital, I guess, but you need digital to control those radios, and we're looking to expand in that area, I guess. We've expanded the company from digital to software and mechanical as well. And we produce products ranging from like high volume meter reading type applications to very low volume an astronomy, like a radio astronomy down converter. And so the meter reading is lots of challenges. It's a very high volume, like millions per year. And this product itself had to last 10 to 25 years in a single battery, right? It also had to operate in sometimes harsh environments. It can be in a pit, get flooded, it can be exposed to gases. And these are challenges that you have to take into account. And then other challenges in terms of getting the battery life for 25 years on a single battery, watching things like power consumption, how the radio turns on and off, in terms of the programming and control of the device. For the radio astronomy program, the other extreme, this is a device that had to down convert the signal from 3 to 8 gigahertz down to 200 to 800 megahertz. And it had extreme challenges. They wanted a really flat response. They wanted to be very insensitive to power supply and things like that, because they're taking this thing, looking at objects in the sky. And if there's variations there, when they do the measurements, they will have errors in the measurements and find a fake star or something like that. One of the things with Randy, you'd be exposed to all parts of the product development, starting from the design concept, like system design, the enhanced duty and the prototyping and the detail design, the schematics and things, testing, debugging, all the way through to production. Right now, we're developing a product, a 900 megahertz product called the M-Link. It's a frequency hopping radio. And one of the keys to it is ultra low power, and it has excellent sensitivity. And its range will go about 5 kilometers an hour line of sight. I apologize if I was a public speaker again. No worries. What we're trying to do here is we're looking for people, particularly on the software side, to help in embedded systems. So this product has a microprocessor on it, and we need to expand that area. We're looking for very talented people. This program is an excellent opportunity for us to hopefully find very talented people. And thank you very much.
All right, next up, Marcel from Orpix.
Hello everyone, I'm Marcel. I'm the CTO at Orpix Medical Technologies. We're a Calgary startup in the medical device industry. We develop devices for people that have a loss of sensation in the lower extremities, so the feet. And we have 2 products that we're working on right now. One is a warning system that has pressure-sensitive sensors in an insole that then wirelessly transmit information about the pressure that someone is exerting on their feet to, let's say, a watch or a mobile phone. And the second product, which is a little bit more intricate, is actually a sensory substitution device. So what we're doing is we're taking information from the bottom of the feet, and then we are relaying that information to a tactile back display, which has a number of vibratory motors on it that then stimulate the nerves in the back. So people that have no sensation can learn to adapt and learn the sensation that they're feeling on the back as if it was their feet. And so for me, what's fascinating is that we're a very small company. We're only 2 years old, and we're working in the embedded space. And it's exciting because you go from prototype, which is very rough, everything is large scale, you're trying to debug stuff as on the fly. And then you try and make that into smaller scale, so that it's more durable, more smaller footprint, easier to use, simpler. And then you try to make that so that it's mass producible. And that's, to me, you go from start to end, you build the whole thing. That's where the excitement lies for us. And this is a wonderful program because you actually get experience, hands-on experience, with working with some of these components that people use in this space, whether it be wireless communication, simple MCU integration, analog signals, what to do with those. So this is a great program to develop those skills. So yeah, I want to thank you guys, and hopefully we can talk to some of you guys soon.
And next up, Steve from Honeywell Analytics.
Hi, I'm Steve from Honeywell Analytics. I'm a Honeywell employee, so you can tell I work for a big company because I have to wear the dress clothes. My colleagues at the startups get to wear jeans and casual stuff. I have 130,000 coworkers, so I definitely do come from a very large company. And when a company's that large, you really can't do everything. Honeywell does a lot of development around the world, a lot of different industries, but embedded development figures prominently really across the board, everything from jet airliners to turbocharging systems to our piece of the world. And what we do here in Calgary, and what we're really proud of, is we build toxic gas detectors. So if you're going to go into a hazardous situation where a gas hazard might be present, like a confined space, like a refinery, like a sour gas well, you're going to want to wear one of these. It's a very simple device to use. You turn it on. If it beeps and flashes, run upwind in a great big hurry. Congratulations, you've all been trained. What I'm especially proud of, though, is we designed these in Calgary. We manufacture a lot of this in Calgary as well. In fact, this was Jason's first job at BW Technologies, which was later bought by Honeywell's second job. Is that right? Okay. What I find really enjoyable about what I do is, frankly, I'm an engineer, and I really like using my engineering degree. And I went to engineering here at the UC, and like you, I sat in a lot of classes wondering, why am I learning this? When am I ever going to use that? The answer is, at some point in your career, if you choose wisely and are truly passionate about design, you will use it. Even that nasty course in second year on differential calculus, trust me, you will use it eventually. But what I'd encourage you to think about when you do this is, what does that mean? Programmers are easy to find. I shouldn't say that, but there's a lot of people that know how to program. But what really sets an embedded developer apart is they understand not just the programming that they're doing, but how the programming that they're doing fits into the application they're creating, as well as where it'll be used. And what's really exciting about embedded development, why I'm passionate about embedded development, is it lets me use my whole engineering degree. So I want to leave you with one last thought as you go through the MPG or consider embedded development. What will set you apart for an employer? I've definitely done a lot of hiring. I've been doing this for about 20 years now as a manager, as an engineering manager. And what I look for personally is people who've done design before. You've got a lot of students that you're competing with, a lot of other people, and frankly, marks alone are not enough. In fact, some cases, marks aren't even adequate. What sets you apart is that you can demonstrate that you've done this before and you understand it. And not only that, but you're capable of using your whole engineering degree. That's why I find embedded systems development passionate. Lastly, there are a number of us from Honeywell Analytics. Maybe guys raise your hands. We've got a couple of interns here if you want to find out what their experiences are like. We've got some experienced developers, and you're always welcome to come talk to myself to find out what we do about embedded development. Thank you very much.
Next on the ballot is John. He's from PK Sound, who I forgot to give a big thank you for the excellent lighting that we're doing that's blinding us right now. Very much appreciated. Thanks, John.
All right. So I'm from PK Sound. Jeremy, our president, was going to give this speech, but his kitty got sick, and he had to take it to the kitty hospital. So I'm filling in. I'm kind of somewhere between a student and industry. So I'm a part owner of PK Sound and kind of a nervous public speaker. So who are we? So we're a company that was founded in 2005. We design and manufacture large format sound systems. So binary systems, if you've ever been to a concert and seen the large curved speaker arrays and subwalls. That's what we do. So really, in the last few years, the industry is really going to digital DSP, audio over Ethernet, and that type of stuff. And the reason I enjoy embedded systems is creating something out of nothing. So basically, you can have an idea or concept, and you can use a bunch of basic building blocks to create something that hasn't been done before and doesn't exist. Okay, why is MPG sweet? MPG, it really is directly applicable to industry. Without it, I would be years behind where I am now. So I'm doing self-directed design projects without a mentor besides Jason. So it's been really valuable. So thanks. Yeah. Also, I guess our company will definitely be, we're rapidly expanding. We create multiple new positions each year, so we'll be looking to MPG for new employees. And also, if you are a second or third year student, if you're looking for design projects next year, consider coming to talk to us if you're interested in DSP or audio systems. That's good.
Going well. I've got 3 left. So I'll introduce Ryan from Payson Systems.
Picture. Yeah, good picture. There you go. So hi all, I'm Ryan Van Burden. I'm with Payson Systems. Some of you might have heard about us from the coding contest this last weekend. I'm actually representing the hardware side of Payson, so most of the software folks were here on the weekend, but we're kind of a company that not too many people have heard about in town, even though we have like 890 employees, and we put our equipment on virtually every land-based drilling rig in the world. We have a high market share, and part of the reason for that is because we build great products. And what we say is we take technology, we deploy it, and we make it simple to use. So a little bit like the Honeywell guys, which is another great Calgary story. That's what we do. So we build data acquisition systems, we do sensors, we do wired, wireless, we do gas analysis systems, we've got gas spectrometers that we have to do significant math on the data coming out of that thing. We do automatically in satellite systems, we build control systems, we build rig tough computers, which are used by these apes that work on drilling rigs. And so we say they have to be built for wide temps, they need to have ingress protection, and they need to be able to handle angry fists. So and monkey wrenches and sledgehammers and those kinds of things. So but from an embedded perspective, all of our stuff is microprocessor based. We use 8051s in our old stuff. We've got ARM Cortex M3, M4, A8 stuff. We use DSPs and FPGAs, so we do real design. We're one of the, as many of these shops are, there's not too many other real, truly design jobs in Calgary. But we do real design. So as an intern or as a new grad, what we're looking for is people who love to do this stuff and who are very good at it, right? And just have a passion for doing things right. And we try to have a great internship experience. You will design a board, you will solder it up yourself, you will write code for it, you will do the test harness, you will deploy a product out to the field that people actually use out in the oil and gas industry. So that's what we do. It's it's a fun job. The great thing about Payson is we're also funded by the oil industry, so you kind of got the stability of the large Alberta economy that's it's serving electrical engineers who like to do cool design jobs. So that's about all I have. So thank you very much.
I lied, there's one other company that I almost missed. I'm sorry. Ken from Microlinks Systems.
Thanks, Jason. My name is Ken from Microlinks Systems. We're an electronics product development company. We've been in Calgary since, doing this work in Calgary for over 25 years now. We're a small company, there's only 12 of us, but we love what we do. And how I can describe what we do really is like we do really cool stuff. You know, people come to us with a requirement or a concept for a product, and we take that right from that idea through to production for them. We've done things that have gone up in airplanes. We have built boxes that will build pipelines and inspect pipelines for corrosion and damage. We've done wee tiny little things for GPS type projects. It just goes on and on, the kinds of projects that we involve with and that we do. All of us there, we're all passionate about electronics. We just love this stuff. And even for me personally, like I find it's a creative outlet for me. And it always keeps me energized, you know, what's happening, what's going on. And in an odd kind of way, I find writing software a creative outlet, which is kind of weird, but it happens when you get involved in the business for a long period of time. I'll make a, Steve, you mentioned about programmers that are easy to find. I agree. Good programmers are hard to find. So be a good programmer. I could go on about hours about programming and code style and that kind of stuff, but that's another one. We'll be looking for a new person in the new year, so of course the MPG program is very interesting to us for that, because I think the kind of people that the program brings out to the community is the kind of people that we need at Microlinks. I'd like to see, when I look at a resume, I want to see that someone has done work with electronics before, okay? In school and in class and in the labs is one thing, but actually doing the stuff yourself is totally different, and I need to see that experience. I need to know that you've held a soldering iron. I need to know that you've been doing this for a while. I personally have been in electronics since I was a kid. I was letting smoke out of capacitors before my friends were riding bikes. You know, it's a lifelong thing for me. So we'd like to see that with your people, with the people that come to us as well. So that's why we're interested in the MPG program. And in terms of the type of people we like to see, like I said, hands-on. Yeah, know how to solder is good, and good problem solvers, okay? Because I see people get stuck in a rut, and they just grind themselves for a week trying to figure out a problem. You get a lot of resources around you, a lot of smart people, you know, buddies, the internet. The internet's great. Didn't have the internet when I was 8. So, you know, use that stuff, get out of problems, and that's sort of a little piece of advice I have. But thank you very much. Thank you, Jason.
All right, Kumar, how was traffic? Are you ready? Are you okay to go? Or do you want to go last? All right, so I'll introduce David. David's going to, it's a slightly different little 3-minute presentation. He's going to talk about something called the Applin Initiative. And that's, it's new, it's interesting, and it will be very interesting for certain people, perhaps. So, David. Picture. With mine. David's very good with media.
Thank you very much, Jason. I want to spend the next 180 seconds stimulating your enthusiasm for becoming the Wayne Gretzky's of the engineering world. And as you all recall, the secret of Wayne's success was heading for where the puck was going. So that's what we're going to talk about. And that's what the Applin Initiative is focused on. It's some new technology. We brought a group up from Santa Clara here a couple of months ago that met with a lot of the ICT companies in Calgary and with some of your professors. My background is both a lawyer in the technology sector, and during the Stone Age I used to actually work on computers with a rambunctious 8K of ferrite core memory in the back with a wire wrap gun. So I've been there, done that. I actually licensed aspects of the patent portfolio for compact disc technology to Sony and Philips. So I've been around a bit. We have some software and service companies operating in Santa Clara, where my brother's a Stanford guy down there, so we're fairly well plugged in. This is what the Applin Initiative is about. It's about developing a competitive advantage for engineers in Alberta by giving them advanced access to training on a very new class of devices that's coming out. We're calling the initiative the Advanced Programmable Logic Initiative. The devices you can read about, because Jason has the details which he will post where you can get it electronically. They're being built by a company called Tabula. It's being fabricated by Intel on 22 nanometer in Oregon using their new FinFET gates. It is a very exciting programmable logic technology, blows the pants off of FPGAs. And I actually have with me, fortunately, one of our former cabinet ministers who's the only guy in cabinet in Alberta that knows what an FPGA is, Lindsay Blackett. So we got some fairly high-powered folks involved in bringing this training capability to Alberta. What I want to do is, if you guys, I don't have time, you can catch me after this, my last 30 seconds. I can give you a little bit more technical information. Jason's got details with links to white papers on the technology, videos with the head of Intel, head of Tabula. These guys have already raised $200 million in VC money. It's serious stuff. And if we can work with it, we will have a tremendous opportunity to not only employ you here, but to develop some stuff that just can't be done currently. It's an opportunity to execute things that you have not been able to do to this point. There will be 2 initiatives that come out. One is ARM, IBM, and Cadence, which are doing it on 14 nanometer with IBM's FinFETs. The other one will be Tabula and Intel. And we hope to bring that training skill here. We'd like to get your support in getting some resources from our government to deliver that training through MPG. Thank you very much.
And to wrap things up, I introduce Greg from 4i Innovations.
Well, that guy's hard to follow. I obviously don't have that public speaking ability. But yeah, so I'm from 4i Innovations. I'm the director of engineering there. We're a small startup company based out of Cochrane here in Alberta. We specialize in athletic monitoring devices. Our flagship product is this little guy here. It's a Sport Eyes. It basically gives you real-time feedback from any ANT Plus sensor. So Ross was up here earlier from Dynastream. We have a strong heritage of Dynastream in our blood, I guess. So we are definitely a user of ANT Plus. Continue in that field of expertise. We're a small company yet, and we have the benefit of getting direct advantage of people that have been in MPG. We have Vipin working for us. It's great to see someone who's so enthusiastic about things and already has had some experience as a really young engineer at the prime of his learning experience to be able to learn some of these things really quickly. So he had to step into some pretty big shoes, and because there's so few of us, he's definitely one of our top engineers, obviously. Yeah, so we're definitely excited about people who get involved with extracurricular activities during school. I myself worked on the solar car project at the University of Alberta, which was going strong back in the day. I understand that UFC has a pretty good solar car project too, so any of these types of initiatives that you can take advantage of are great. I guess the other thing I noticed when I'm standing here as well is in this region of Alberta, it's a very cohesive mix of engineers. If you ask me to name any company that's doing engineering work in Calgary, I think most of them are here. So there's still quite a few more that aren't here, obviously, but it's great to see that most people that stood up here, I'm aware of where they work. My fiance works at Payson Systems. Dynastream is very close neighbors to us, and we've had work done through Randy as well. So I think it's important to know that there's a very friendly mix of engineering groups, and you can also make a good resource out of all those. So, and joining a club like this will give you access to talk to a lot of those engineering groups and get you noticed. Thanks very much.
And with that kind of wraps up our formal part of the program. There are other companies here that are doing these little 3-minute presentations, so you haven't heard from everyone. So dig around, meet these people, talk to these people, have a great time, drink more coffee. Did anybody bring beer? If anyone has beer, we'll meet behind the screen. And just enjoy, and of course I'll be floating around and would love to talk to you guys all. Thank you again so much for coming, and have a great night. All the best.